Crawfish, if you've had a chance to look over my proposal for Lil Crawdad Youth Group, I think we can move on with the agenda.
Thank you, Susan. I think that is an excellent approach involving arguing youth or religion.
CJ, baby! You're gonna love these numbers coming in.
Hello, Stan. Please, come in.
Way ahead of you, CJ. Mind if I smoke? So, we put out the hashtag, CJ, you know, toe in the water, all that.
Yes, indeed. A return to your world has introduced many new concepts to me.
Maybe get to the point, Stan. We are running a church here.
Sure, Susie, sure. Just a minute. This is important. CJ, baby, these people are going nuts for you. Hashtag Crawdaddy, hashtag the Fishsiah has come are trending.
I thought we discussed hashtag the Fishsiah has come as not being on message.
I am not a fish, Stan.
Of course, CJ, of course. But, you know, the people. I mean, you live in the water, right?
I live in the rectory.
Yeah, but in the water, right?
Stan!
No, Stan.
I just mean CJ, Susie, the people, right? They don't know the difference. Fish, crustaceans, mollusks. It's all the same. What's important is that the people are into it.
This is a disaster.
Perhaps Stan is right, Susan. My message supersedes any race or genus. I am, after all, a crawfish.
You get it, CJ.
In any event, Stan, would you mind checking in with the aquarium director on our upcoming sermon?
Happy to, buddy. You stay frosty in here, huh?
I don't like the way he calls you CJ, and I really don't like the way he calls me Susie. You know, he never asked. He just started doing it. Who does that?
Stan is a unique individual, but he offers us a skill set neither one of us have, Susan. We should appreciate that.
Appreciate him co-opting the message for his own gain, you mean? That marketing campaign with Deadliest Catch was a disaster. Nobody's watching that show anymore.
Susan, we knew there were going to be some growing pains. We're reaching out our quivering antennae to learn the human world's wants and needs. It's all very complex.
I don't have any antennae, CJ. Oh, God! Listen, now he's got me doing it!
Perhaps we should focus on the upcoming sermon.
Of course. Where were we?
The rising sea level gives us the opportunity to reacquaint ourselves with our ancestors and their way of life. A return to naturalism.
Ah, yes, a positive spin on climate change. We came from the sea, to the sea shall we return.
In so many words.
I think we want to strike a tone of humanity is not explicitly doomed, rather, our current way of life is.
Yes, I think that's right. Establishing the notion that whatever comes next, a portion of humanity will survive.
But the perspective needs to change. The problem is ego-based thinking, really. The notion that things are changing and therefore it's the end of the world. Really, it's the end of an era.
Humanity has always centered itself in the narrative of the universe.
That's where you come in, an outsider, to show us the path forward.
That is the idea.
The Church of Crawfish Jesus. This is Susan speaking. How may I assist you? Yes, we are all prepared. No, we hadn't planned. Well, that is to say, of course not, ma'am. Listen, this is part of the entire Oh no, I understand completely. I will pray for you. That was the aquarium. They've canceled the sermon.
Whatever for?
They decided your message is antithetical to theirs.
Which message in particular?
that we need to start integrating the captive aquarium fauna into everyday life to prepare mankind for their inevitable return to the sea. They said they don't want to endorse the notion that aquariums aren't good, clean fun, and that we shouldn't tacitly endorse a religious movement anyway, no matter the scientific classification of its leader.
That is highly unfortunate. My intention was not to beguile or reject aquariums as a whole, but rather to introduce the notion that they could go even further in becoming an integral part of human civilization, to prepare mankind for once again sleeping with the fishes.
That actually means something else up here?
Indeed?
Yes, it's...
CJ. Just give me. Whew. I just got word on this aquarium business.
I don't know how, since we just found out ourselves.
Because it's already trending, Susie, can't you see? We gotta get you into the 21st century, but this is good. This is good news.
Why? How could a trending topic possibly be equal to Crawfish Jesus actually being allowed to speak?
Susie, listen. I've now got a list as long as CJ's antennae of people and places now wanting him to come give a sermon. Being rejected by one group is the best surefire way to get in good with someone else.
What do you mean, Stan?
Well, CJ, here's the thing. People are jerks. There's no two ways about it. Sure, we'd love if everything were all coral reefs and feathers like you talk about.
What are you talking about?
But the reality is that before one guy is going to raise his hand to help his fellow man, he's going to give him the middle finger first for interrupting his day.
Stan!
Does that make sense?
You are saying that people prioritize the criticism of others over altruism?
It's the oldest story in the book, CJ. Why help a guy when you can criticize and help a guy? It's a win-win.
Well, I can't say I find much kinship in that value system, but truly, there's much about humanity that is a mystery to me.
That's why you've got me, CJ. I'll never steer you wrong.
Well, who have you heard from so far?
Now, first, I want to say, I want you both to be all ears here. Or, whatever you have for ears, CJ.
I do indeed have ears.
Excellent. Well, keep those ears open and non-judgmental.
I don't like where this is going.
Okay. Well, first you have to think we are a religion with a gigantic crawfish for a leader who is going to vibe with that, right?
Okay.
Who else is going to feel simultaneously oppressed and disconnected from humanity?
Oh, Jesus, no!
Oh, Jesus, yes!
Stan, we can't. They're the worst people in the world.
I said keep those ears open, Susie.
Who exactly are we talking about?
He means white evangelical nationalists.
Ah,
Now listen. I know they might be pretty intense about, hating people of color, wanting to torture gays, turning America into a fundamentalist autocracy, and so forth.
Yeah, it's just a few casual human rights violations.
I'm not saying we need to endorse them, Susie, just that we try to put a spin on this.
Stan, I did make clear to you I did not want to become embroiled in the pseudo-political machinations of contemporary American religious debate. The Church of Crawfish Jesus is meant to be an escape from all that.
Of course, CJ. I'm right there with you. Who needs another cook in the kitchen, right? But.
No buts, Stan. We have to be strict about this or we're just like everybody else.
That's my point, Susie. We gotta start making ovations here by opening up a dialogue, by hanging out with these folks who are saying, hey, we're here to make good with everybody. Not just the people who actually have empathy and care about other human beings. Believe me, the ignorant masses will eat that kind of thing up.
Well, I'm not certain I agree with your assessment of the ignorant masses, but it's true we need a way to reach a wider audience than just people who want to boil and eat me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. These folks are so white, they wouldn't even think about boiling and eating you.
That would indeed be a nice change of pace. Last week after the service, a woman rubbed Old Bay on my back as we shook hands.
Oh, Father Crawfish, I had no idea.
Oh, Old Bay, huh? Sounds good. I would have used my mom's old recipe myself.
I did indeed smell delicious.
Listen to you two.
Susie, you know I'm a kidder, but trust me here. You hired me to do a job, after all. And if that means we rub a little tasty, tasty spice all over our dear Lord and Savior here before he goes on camera or in front of a crowd, then that's what I'll tell him to do.
It hardly seems relevant how delicious he smells.
That's where you're wrong, Susie. It's a numbers game. Believers or connoisseurs? It's all the same, really. It's people with butts in seats. It's donations coming in.
But we want people to be at the Church of Crawfish Jesus for the right reasons.
Well, sure. Everybody wants someone in their lives for the right reasons. Haven't you ever seen The Bachelor? But the thing here is, people are self-centered. They need a little give and take. So you ask them to come to church, you've got to give them even the possibility that one day they could get a piece of that tasty, tasty crawfish.
It is true we haven't made explicit use of people's desire to consume my flesh. Many followers have submitted requests to take communion during our services. They ask when they'll get a chance to taste the body of Crawfish Jesus and lick their lips. I politely informed them that this is a Christian practice we do not indulge in.
Well, maybe you can wink when you say that, you know? Titillate them a little bit, like flashing some ankle on the highway. You do have ankles, don't you?
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
Believe it, Susie!
I think Stan is right, Susan. Let's prepare a press release and follow up with those bigots you mentioned earlier.
I've already got a pitch, CJ. The Church of Crawfish Jesus. You might get a taste.
Okay, Stanley, let's see if we can punch that up, huh?
Oh, it's Stanley now, huh?
As long as I'm Susie, anyway.
Ha ha. Oh, Susan, I knew you'd come around.
Next time on Crawfish Jesus.
I'm sorry, Stan. Who did you say is coming to visit?
No, I think it was Otto something. His last name started with an R. I've got it written down.
Otto R? 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 Otto Otter! 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 Oh no, Stan!
Oh, this is a conundrum.
What's the problem? This fella is an accredited animal pontiff, just like you, CJ.
He's also an otter, Stan. He wants to eat Father Crawfish.
Oh, whoops!
Your favorite savior's back, but not as you expected. A tiny water critter from the river you neglected. One last gift of the dying God's creation. Your new Messiah's a friendly crustacean. It's Crawfish Jesus. Crawfish Jesus.
If you've enjoyed letting Theater of the Electric Mouth invade your mind with
Crawfish Jesus.
please consider subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you're currently experiencing this. And hey, while you're at it, be sure to leave us a review. We want to hear from you.
Crawfish Jesus was written by me, Andrew Clark, with direction and sound design by Zach Trebino and mastering by Will Koch. It features the voice talents of Eric Fleising, Ali Rojek, and yours truly.
Theater of the Electric Mouth is a global theater collective dedicated to titillating your minds through your ears with absurd and literary audio dramas.
And just in case you forgot, last week after the service, a woman rubbed Old Bay on my back. Till next time.